So, a few days ago, I asked on Twitter on some hot takes slash unpopular opinions and stuff, and some interesting ones came out of it. And I thought to discuss it into one YouTube video and share my thoughts and feelings about some of them. For some reason, I still have to mention this. That's the fact. If I don't agree on a hot take and it's mentioned in the video, please don't. Just please don't send me death threats, hate comments, and just respect other people's opinions. Just because it's my opinion, it's not immediately factual, but I still like to share my opinions. So, the first hot take I saw is, ever since episode 4, the story has gotten a little, I don't know, dry, cause you get a camping episode, that's cool, and then you suddenly get transferred into the past. Like, how did we even get there? What exactly happened? How did the drones pass out? How did Uzi even think to get into the database of the disassembly drones? There's a lot there isn't answered, and we're supposed to deal with it. I think this is really mainly the problems of episode 5, and I can agree with that. Episode 5 had some goods, but also a lot of flaws. This is definitely one of them. I'm just so stunned we didn't even get to see what actually happened. In my opinion, I think Uzi just forced in. You have to be in, since she's the main character. Like, bro, give her maybe some time off screen for once. Give a little bit of an unfiltered way and look, and also show what actually happened in these memories. And yeah, it really felt like forcing a last minute move in my opinion, but yeah, we're supposed to deal with it. I don't really think I think the story mainly in episode 6 has progressed in somewhat way, finally, but it felt a little dry in episode 5, and that's for sure. So the second hot take is by my guy Yaxter, and he says V should stay dead. It would be her first real permanent character death, as every big quote unquote death gets undone like Dol and Jay. Killing off V permanently would do a lot for the story and shows no one is safe. I can agree with this by a long mile. In my opinion, the only real character death, well, a big character death, if you even consider that at all, is Rebecca. And she's not even a big character, she's just a side character. So it really shows that every major character death just gets undone in like a snap. Like, Dol revived herself for some reason, meanwhile Mom is staying dead, meanwhile she has the same exact thing as her. Yeah, I said that way too quick. And Jay just gets quote unquote cloned. Like, if a disassembly drone gets cloned, what's even the point of them dying anyway, as if they know they're brought back to life? But yeah, I think they should really kill off not every single character, but I mean the main ones, just to show no one is safe. So the third quote unquote hot take is, those are not a fundamental trait of living on Copper 9. Sorry, not sorry. If you don't take that back, Khan will literally install a door on your face. So the fourth, mainly self-proclaimed super hot take slash unpopular opinion is a super hot take here, but Cabin Fever was one of the best episodes in Murder Drones. I just love Solver Uzi, love hard. Well, if you think that's your favorite episode, well, so be it. You know, everyone has his own opinions and we have to respect that. Personally, for me, it isn't my favorite, but I can agree on that. Solver Uzi was probably one of the best moments. In my opinion, I loved every second of it. But some of the parts in episode 4 just kinda, how should I say, it kinda annoyed me in some way. Like, Uzi carried the episode, that's for sure, but I mean, there are just some issues as well with the pacing, the writing a little. As well, definitely with the time skip. I hate time skips. It happened in episode 4 and episode 5, so that's the only issues I really have. But yet again, it's not the worst episode. It's definitely not the worst, but it's also definitely not the best. It's all like in the middle. But if you think it's the best, that's good for you and happy for you, I guess. Yeah. So another one I saw was the sacrifice is completely unnecessary, cause they could commit shut eye and start blasting the dinos. Oh yeah, she could fly over them. In my opinion, I can like almost agree with this one, because really in episode 6 they made the disassembly drones look completely useless. Cause like what do they have again? They have a lot of weapons like chainsaw hands, missiles, etc. They have flight, they have regeneration, and so much more. But you cannot tell me they had this much trouble defeating the Sentinels. Like, sure, they're gonna get bug looped if they look into their eyes and the Sentinels do the whatever thing they're doing with their eyes, but you cannot tell me they have this much trouble. Meanwhile, they have so many things. Like, as if they were useless in some kind of way. You cannot tell me they are this bad against defeating the Sentinels, who are like, yeah, sure, they're strong as dinosaurs, but still, they have so much stuff. So, yeah, I can agree that the sacrifice, it was a kind of unnecessary, as she could just fly over them, but yeah, it's mainly really one of the only problems about episode 6 mainly. A other Condor man, hey, you're me, you're pretending to be me, nah, just kidding, has said they're probably just holding back on this, but I want to know more about the workers' past. I feel like we got teased with Alice talking about Nori in one instance and then she has died. I want more lore. I agree with this. I also want more lore, more backstory, especially with like Khan's and Nori's backstory. I want a lot of that. And what the fuck happens in these labs, you know? And I can also agree, Alice was like a sort of like teaser on how Nori specifically was. But yeah, I also want to see, you know, just the actual things happened in the series. And well, I hope we eventually get that, but as things stand, we don't know. Another hot take in my replies: there's been nothing wrong with how the show has been paced so far, in my opinion, and I like the fact a lot of major details have been pieced together rather than being super clear. It makes it more fun to talk and think about, I'd say. Episode 6 was like really fast paced and with a lot of like major details back to back to back, as if you really got a headache, and I mean that in a good way, by the way. But yeah, it felt really, episode 6 really felt different compared to the rest. In my opinion, some episodes were really slow paced and others were really fast, but I think episode 6 did it definitely in the right way. Episode 3 was also very good with the pacing, and yeah, it really depends per episode on how good the pacing is or not. But if there is a clear winner in my opinion, it's definitely episode 6 or 3. But that's just my opinion. So right, I also got a lot of things about the shipping. So the first one are actually two things talking about the same thing really. And that's the fact Chatsy didn't happen, or in their opinion. In my opinion, I don't really give a fuck about the shipping. I just care about the lore, not the shipping. But I can definitely agree with that Chad. What the fuck happened to him, bro? He got done dirty. I mean, he was a main character in episode 1 and 2 and then just snap disappeared. Well, he appeared in episode 3 and 4 as well, but very tiny detail, if you know what I mean. Like, I think just one text and that's it. And yeah, he really got done dirty. But yeah, nothing really we can do really about it. It's just how they write the show, I guess. So yeah, I won't really care about the shipping, although I do like Chatsy in my opinion. It's one of the only ships I actually like, but yeah, I don't really give a fuck about the shipping, more about the lore. Also, Colin is not a bad father, he is just has unresolved trauma. I mean, he's not a bad father, he's the goat of a father. He's the greatest father of all time towards doors. But doesn't have unresolved trauma. He's a doorsexual, and that is already a respectable thing. The absolute goat. Another one. Honestly, I'm kinda worried of the direction of the story. At the end of the pilot, we got an Uzi killing humans thing, and that has not been muttered until Uzi bit Tess's finger. I'm just worried about the story in my opinion. I have gotten a lot of replies of the Uzi inconsistent character thing. And I can agree kind of with that. Really, in episode 1 and 2, she was really like all that rebellious and stuff, and in episode 3, 4, 5, 6, she was really more of an uwu girl towards N. In my opinion, again, I don't care about the shipping, I just care about the lore, but it's kind of annoying as well. It's not that I don't like Nuzi, or I do not hate it, but I also don't like it. Same goes with Envy, by the way. I can kinda agree with that one. It's been really inconsistent since episode 3, and well, but again, we can nothing really we can do about it. It's just kind of annoying in my opinion. Speaking of Nuzi, I also got a lot of things that said it should have been never canonized, or well, not in a relationship. And I can agree with that, kind of. But in the holding hands scene and stuff, well, I don't really care about it, as it didn't really influence the episode. Although the joke Tessa made was kind of funny. But there is a lot of like shipping stuff, and I don't really like that, since the fandom, this is again about the fandom cares more about ships than lore. Why can we not focus for once on lore than relationships, you know? Just focus more on that. Focus more on the lore, not the actual shipping side of it. Because that is just not important at all. And listen, you can tell whatever is canon, I don't care, just ship it, I guess. If it is canon or not, ship it, I guess, but in my opinion, we should focus more on the lore, not the ships. So last but not least, the last hot take I have is Solvers is suddenly generating meaty bits, aka her wings and tail and stuff. Looks super cool for sure, but it makes zero sense. It would have made much more sense for them to look like, I don't know, imperfect replicas of the murder drone's own wings and tail. Made of metal, I mean. At the same time, it makes sense, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense to make sense. For sure, it looks very cool, I have to say that, but I think Liam Vickers just wanted a bit more of an eldritch feel to it, so that I think that's why. I am of course not for sure, I don't know the reason either, but for some reason, it doesn't make sense that it makes sense. It feels like that. But her still having it after the events of episode 4 doesn't make sense at all. And she already has, powers. And now she has her wings and tail on top of that. And, well, that doesn't really make sense, but I don't write the show. Maybe it's for something else, I guess, but yeah, who knows. Well, before I get more death threats, I'm just gonna end it here. Just again, please don't death threat anybody or anyone else who said this stuff. It's their opinion and their hot take, and don't attack them for it. Anyway, see you guys later. Peace.